oye me we kan raye aye kese edonyemeni ni makana dole gbe ni gbe e mani do ye we na kebege ya oye miwu eye kebi yen
iyo mono ga ime fa ma kiki yo mono ro egbeke ya si o ebo mama doge o iye ne se ni garo.
Tonight, other activities take backstage as more cases of coronavirus are recorded in Nigeria. Edo State government directs gathering of not more than 20 persons. Elsewhere, over 25 million naira worth of cannabis sativa impounded by NDLEA. As Department of Petroleum Resources reads Riot Act to defaulting petrol stations over a new price regime. A very good evening to you and welcome to the news at 7. I am Udrakobong at Chibong. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has confirmed new cases of coronavirus in Nigeria. One case in Lagos and one in Ogun State. One case is a returning traveler and second is a case of contact of a previously confirmed case. The latest figures bring the total number of confirmed cases in Nigeria to 43. This was disclosed by the National Center for Disease Control. Back in the state, those
items, medicines, and other vital commodities allowed to operate.
Markets should remain open. However, it is only those markets where essential commodities, foodstuff, are sold that should remain open. And we are reducing the numbers of people who can be in any gathering at any point in time in Edo State from 50 to 20.
On report of indiscriminate consumption of chloroquine, the governor says government will work with the State Ministry of Health, NMA, and Pharmaceutical Association to regulate the sales. Members of the committee, in their divergent views, suggested measures government should adopt.
We actually been contact tracing some of our people that came from abroad,
and I can assure you that the lab results coming from our centers are just as accurate as tell you.
Working now for 2 weeks and really good essential activities were already there.
Government is also considering the bulk purchase of face masks and reselling them to members of the public, as well as working with the area specialist teaching hospital for mass production of hand sanitizers. The technical committee is expected to meet again this Friday to review outcomes. In Benin, good luck in Inaini, NT News.
Now, still talking about COVID-19 in Nigeria, the federal government, in its effort to avoid further spread of the virus, directed civil servants to stay away from work except those on essential duties. However, Eugenia Dubisi was in town to monitor compliance by the civil servants in Benin.
The ever-busy state secretariat was virtually empty with few workers around. One of the senior officers who spoke on the directive lauded government decision, saying it will help reduce contact.
The supply is total here. So I think we appreciate the federal government and the state government for making us go away from the work because of the epidemic.
Others are on the same page.
That the hospital cannot afford to shut down it means that hospital staff will need to, but be that as it may, we're also ensuring too that our staff that are not in the core medical or clinical areas too will find a way of getting them, not getting everybody to be at work at the same time. But then the management of the hospital is also taking precaution to ensure that we don't expose our staff to whatever hazards that's on ground.
We have hand sanitizer. We are on break because of the COVID. No, I cannot find anybody. I just come to submit something now. Very important something. Unfortunately, I didn't get where to submit it.
Those on essential duties are at their duty posts to render services to the public. In Benin, Eugenia BBC, NTA News.
Implemented and observed by the people.
The president of BB Group of Companies says government is doing everything possible to contain the spread, and it is only logical that there is support from privileged individuals, groups or organizations, no matter how little.
This one is for you. It is given to you.
We are sorry for a mix-up in that report. And moving on now. In the meantime, the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria is calling on all pastors to be circumspect in obeying government's orders on social distancing aimed at containing the spread of coronavirus. Statement by the National President, Reverend Felix Omogude, advises pastors to, as much as possible, use other social media platforms to minister to their congregants or hold multiple services to maintain the social distance requirement. The statement adds that churches should stress prayer and intercession to the great physician to heal the land and take plagues from the people. In the meantime, the president of BB Group of Companies, Sonny Akuba, has distributed sanitizers to Edo people to complement government's effort in the fight against the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Joy Ebo has details.
The president of BB Group of Companies says government is doing everything possible to contain the spread, and it is only logical that there is support from privileged individuals, groups or organizations, no matter how little.
This one is for you. It is given to you free of charge. Come see my very self. What we are doing today is to complete government efforts. We are aware that the government is doing everything possible to make sure that the coronavirus negative is contained. And we believe that we have a responsibility as a people to complement government efforts, because government cannot do it all alone. We have made order for about 1 million pieces, and he has assured me, I paid him for about 500 pieces of this. So we are going to take it around the entire state. It will not end here.
He wants all Nigerians to ensure that they stay safe and adhere to guidelines by relevant agencies and medical experts. In Benin, Joy Egbo, NTA News.
There are over 100 different types of cancer: breast cancer, lung cancer, cervical cancer, and many others. Cancer harms the body when altered cells divide uncontrollably to form lumps called tumors. Anyone is at the risk of getting cancer, but some are more likely at risk because of inherited cancerous gene. Some cancers are sometimes lifestyle-induced, like smoking, lack of exercise, poor diet, chemical emissions, environmental or water pollution may play a role. The chances of having cancer can be reduced by avoiding smoking, using tobacco products and alcohol, eating fresh food, and getting regular exercise. There are some tests and screening to help detect cancerous cells, like mammogram for breast cancer and pap test for cervical cancer, and through other cancer detection tests. Your fighting chance against cancer is early detection and treatment through regular screening and testing. This message is powered by LAPO, improving lives.
Next time you visit the ancient city of Benin, two things will excite you. the want and welcome of its people, and of course, the class and style of its hospitality business. Randeki Gold, home of hospitality like no other, located in one of the most serene environments in the ancient city, truly classy and exquisite with world-class facilities, fully equipped digital multipurpose hall with life-size, ultra-high definition LED screen, 180 square meters king-size swimming pool with bubble bath, enough to relieve you breathless. The exotic Ariel's Bistro and Grill restaurant with variety of continental dishes, especially some of the rarest delicacies you can find in town. Fact is, a visit will truly convince you that we are gold. Randeki Gold is the gold wing of the prestigious Randeki Royal Hotel at 6 Uhenyi Street off Ihama and Boundary Roads, GRA Benin City. www.randekihotels.com. Randeki Gold, our hospitality is gold.
As the deadly and highly contagious coronavirus ravages the world by killing and paralyzing the world economy, the spiritual leader of Christ Chosen Church of God International, Senior Apostle Dr. David Unuefe Ikwiwu, has directed all ministers, members of the church, and other believers in Christ to observe a one-day consecrated fasting and prayers on Saturday, 28 March 2020 at 9 a.m. or on any of the branch closest to you to pray earnestly. Ask God to mercifully forgive the world their terrible sins. Pray to God to have mercy and stop the spread of this pandemic and many more. Bible says, if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves, confess their sins and pray, I will hear and heal their land. The world needs your prayers. Nigeria needs your prayers. Edo State and even the church needs your prayers. So pray for the world, for Nigeria and Edo State.
Ogbelo 2020 don come with ogbonge travel awoof Muyi Line, the transport company wey get everybody for mind. Say comfortable traveling no suppose tear pocket as awoof bonanza price still dey from Benin to Lagos, mine to Yanapaja, Yaba and Aja for just 2,500 naira. Benin to Port Harcourt 2,000 naira plus cheap awoof price. So worry Bayelsa and Niger Delta routes including Ekpoma, Auchi and Abuja. Muyi Line executive charter cars like Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry and Sienna dey to local and international airports and anywhere for Nigeria. Save money, enjoy safe and comfortable journey as this travel awoof dey till June 30th, 2020. Muyi Line head office dey 169 Oselu Lagos Road, opposite Technical Junction, Benin City. Muyi Line, friend of Nigeria students.
This is not just a hotel. It's a resort, a place where luxury, class, and hospitality meets. It's not just four walls. It's a reinvention. It's an idea that relaxation should be brilliant. We offer world-class services that makes the experience unforgettable. Heritage Hotel, you can't get it better.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now, every March 23 is celebrated as World Meteorological Day. This year's celebration focuses on the theme Climate and Water Crisis. Peter Oyibo has details.
As the world now faces increasing challenges posed by water crisis, floods, drought, and lack of access to clean supplies of water, respondents noted an urgent need to improve forecasting, monitoring, and management of waters to be able to tackle the problems of shortage not only in Edo State but Nigeria at large. In addressing this crisis, an environmental expert, Godwin Uyi Ojo, has advised Nigerians to do more of water harvest in order to tackle the problems of water shortage in Edo State.
The world we are in today, we have seen changing weather patterns. In some climes, the rain is too heavy. In other climes, there is acute drought and shortage of water. But in all spheres, we can see that in Nigeria, there's already a water shortage that is very close to water crisis.
He also advised farmers to always adhere to climate warnings.
This is where it's very important to heed the warnings of the meteorological groups to begin to embark on rainfall harvesting. We should not depend alone on rain-fed agriculture, or we should not depend alone on the boreholes. It is time to make use of the heavy rains that comes.
The World Meteorological Organization was established in March 23rd, 1950. In Benin, Peter Oyibo, NTA News.
The Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, Edo State, has commenced surveillance of petrol stations in the state's capital to ensure strict compliance with the new pump price of 125 naira per litre. Jude Aweke was on the team and now reports.
The regulatory team, led by the State Operations Controller of the Department of Petroleum Resources, Maynard Oraifo, inspected some of the athletes on Iyaro, Dawson, Sokoba and Oba roads, also to assess meter accuracy.
DPR benefit office, we have set ourselves into 3 teams to monitor state-related outlets in the 3 senatorial districts, and the information we are getting so far shows that the compliance level of marketers across the state is on the high side.
Motorists are impressed with the exercise.
This is what we should be doing as a Nigerian, to make sure that things are put in place, and also look at their meter whether it's well positioned.
The exercise is very, very interesting. People should keep it on.
Thank you, DPR, for doing your work.
Recall that the federal government announced a downward review of the pump price of petrol from 145 naira to 125 naira per litre. DPR is warning petroleum marketers who are yet to comply to the federal government's directive to do so or face severe sanctions. The military exercise continues. In Benin, Jude Aweke, NTA News.
It's time for another break. Please stay tuned.
In view of the prevailing precarious situation in our world about the COVID-19 pandemic, we are constrained to obey the directive from the Edo State government to make the following pronouncements: that the planned celebration of life for our father, late Chief Professor Emmanuel Imonvon, has been postponed and new dates will be announced in due course. However, a private burial and interment will go ahead. Whatever inconveniences this may cause is highly regretted. May God protect us and our esteemed families and friends from this plague. As we appreciate the love and concern expressed thus far, may the soul of Chief Professor Emmanuel Emevo and the souls of all the faithful departed rest in peace. Amen. Signed, Dr. Osenige Emevo, for the family.
To dey hear my customers, they complain about my place because light no dey and the heat na die.
Light matter no be problem to any business again o, because Uyi Technical, the generator headquarters, don give solution to every business to blow, even with the small money for your Esiso pocket.
Hey, I see cheap so na be say I go buy one for my store, and and the one wey go pump water and carry our air condition for house.
Oh yes, so with generator for everybody. Oh, for Uji Technica, all kind quality generator boku. From small generator go reach big package generator with original spare parts. Uji Technica, na dear 100% copper generators a day. No be aluminium, no. Even grinding machine and pepper milling. Okay, Kofiara, come carry your own for the generator headquarters. 79, 81, 83 Mission Road for Benin City.
Signature Hotel, please until Signature Hotel, a place of hospitality in the heart of Benin City. Please
Pleasant Hill Signature Hotel, a place of hospitality in the heart of Benin City, located at 134 Akpakpavo Road, Benin City, Edo State, or call 0528-40557 or 081363908.
Please until Signature Hotel, please until Signature Hotel, a place of hospitality.
Omeosa Motors, now safety of all our passengers be number one. We dey make sure say we use new motor and driver wey qualify carry our passengers reach where dem dey go. Correct! Safety first. Safety first. Ameosa Motors. Now you Biko.
Safety and comfort come to Ameosa Motors. Our head office there for number 156B, Benin Oshino, Aduawa, Benin City. The part of the road for Benin, number 1 Eagle Street off Sopomba Road by Sizzler by Ring Road there for Benin City. Number 188 Motala Mohammed Way, Benin City. We there for number 38 Bowo Lagos Road opposite UBTH Gate, Benin City. For Akpoma, Ameosa Motors there by Beverly Hills Junction, Benin Oshi Expressway, Ekpoma. For Abraka, we there for Police Station Road Junction, Abraka Delta State. For Port Harcourt, Ameosa Motors just there for number 3 Oluwa Passenger Road by Rebisi Motor Park, Water Lines, Port Harcourt for River State. We also there for number 190 Abba Port Harcourt Road by Rumola, Port Harcourt, River State. For Uyo, Ameosa Motors there for number 115 Ikote Penero, opposite Akwa Ibom Transport Company. Uyo, Ameosa Motors, as Lion the king of forest. Now so, Ameosa Motors, the king of the road. Bam!
Many thanks for staying tuned. The Edo State Directorate of the National Orientation Agency wants Nigerians to see themselves as one, no matter the religious and political differences. This is one of the points raised at the South-South Stakeholders Meeting on Peace Building held in Benin City. Peter Oyibo has details.
The quest to have a peaceful and mutual relationship among Nigerians was the focus of the event that brought together community leaders, the military, police, and men of the correctional service, immigration service, non-governmental organizations, and religious leaders across the south-south of the country seeking peaceful coexistence and dialogue. The meeting also featured a round table where questions bordering on security and unity of the state were raised.
We need to relax our mental and physical being in order to function properly, to drive what is suitable for us.
The State Director of the National Orientation Agency, Edo State, Grace Ewire Iseka, represented by Austin Odeli and other key players, say diversity and support for one another in generosity is key.
What we should first of all have at the back of our mind is that there is no substitute for peace, and that no meaningful development can take place in an atmosphere that is characterized by disorder, by security challenges.
If we understand ourselves, if there is a synergy, if there is cooperation amongst us, that is when informations are given, your duty can easily be discharged to the benefit of everyone.
I thank God that made it possible for me to be a part of this program today. For me, it's a time based on the happiness in our society.
The event is part of activities of the agency in uniting the country. In Benin, Peter Oyibo, NTA News.
In another development, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Edo State Command, has impounded 6 vehicles loaded with 1,687 kilograms of cannabis sativa, valued at 25 million naira. Ifomo Kafo was at the command headquarters in Benin City, where it was disclosed.
6 vehicles loaded with the cannabis sativa was intercepted at Agenegbode in Isako East local government area of Edo State. The principal staff officer media, Michelle Ofoyeju, revealed that the command got the tip-off about the activities of the smugglers who plan to distribute the substances to different parts of the country. On citing the officers of the NDLEA, the smugglers took to their heels.
The drug cartels are also very intelligent, because particularly in these days where the coronavirus have caused people to stay at home, they wanted to take advantage of that situation to smuggle this, and that is why you have about 6 vehicles at a time. But thank God for the intelligence report which we had and the swift response of our officers. We were able to nip this illicit activity in the bud.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is a command that is saddled with the responsibility of enforcing law and order against drug trafficking and related offences. In Benin, Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
And that's the news. Many thanks for watching. Good evening.